our room. We are here in my home studio again, and we are going to be talking today about color. So I know we've been doing a lot of stuff with still lives at school the last couple weeks, but since you're at home, we're going to switch it up so you guys have something to do that you guys can work on at home as you have time. So we're going to talk about all the different colors that go around the color wheel, and I'm going to do that by drawing on my piece of paper here with my oil pastels that I just got in the mail the other day. So when you guys are talking about different colors, that actually just has to do with the light that's reflected as to what color ends up turning out. So I'm going to attach some videos that you guys can watch. So if you like science, you can learn all about how the different colors come through when the light shines through a prism. Okay, so here's some oil pastels, and these have all a bunch of different colors. So when we're making a color wheel, we're gonna put the colors in a specific place. So I'm gonna start with red at the top, and I am going to just draw a big, kind of like a, here before I do that, this is moving all over the place, so let me make sure that this is not gonna move on me. All right, let me grab my oil pastel again. This is a red oil pastel. So we're gonna go ahead and draw kind of like a piece of pie at the top of my color wheel, okay? So there's my red, and then I'm just gonna quickly kind of color it in a little bit. If you wanna make a color wheel at home, you can color it in a little bit better than I am doing right now. Okay, now, the first thing we're gonna talk about is the color that is opposite on the color wheel is called the complementary color. So I'm going to take the opposite of the color wheel. Do you guys know what the opposite of red is on the color wheel? I'll give you a hint. It's a Christmas color. If you said green, that's correct, because red and green are complements on the color wheel. And I like to think of it like this. Opposites attract, and that's why they look good together. So they go opposite on the color wheel. So I'm going to go straight down from here, and I'm going to make another piece of pie with green. So here's my green color wheel pie piece. And this would be called the pure hue. That means nothing else is making this light green or dark green. When we talk about tints and shades, there wouldn't be any white or any red, or I'm sorry, any white or any black affecting this color. It would be the pure green color, or hue is another word for it. Okay, now we are going to skip over to go next to red next, and that color is, do you guys have a guess? If you think of the rainbow colors, it's going to be next in the rainbow. So if you were thinking orange, that is the color we're going to use next. So I'm going to put my orange pie next to the red over here, and I'm going to leave a little space in between. So we're actually only going to be learning, or on our color, we're only going to be putting the primary and the secondary colors, but there actually could be a lot more. Okay, so orange is next on the color wheel. And since we're going to keep going with the other complementary color, we're going to scoot across. So do you guys know what the opposite of orange is on the color wheel? What is its complement? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's the color of the sky, and it is blue, my favorite color. So blue is going to be opposite of orange. It is going to make it look good. So if you put on, if your dad likes to wear dress shirts, and he has an orange shirt, he should wear a blue tie with it. It's gonna look really good. They look good together. Okay, so this is gonna be my blue pie on my color wheel. And that would go right next to green because it's opposite of orange on the color wheel. Okay, next. We're gonna skip next to orange. You guys know what comes next. It's another warm color, the last one you know. You probably know. It's yellow. Okay, so yellow is going to be this pie piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my yellow pie piece. Color that in here so you guys can see it. There we go. I like how my color wheel is looking so bright and colorful. Okay, and then the last one, it's going to be the last secondary color, and it is going to be purple. So purple is opposite of yellow on the color wheel. So my final pie piece I'm going to put in here is my purple pie piece. So I'm going to go ahead and color in my purple pie. Maybe it's made of plums. Okay, so now I have my color wheel completed with my 6 colors on here. So we're going to talk just a little bit more about what these colors are called. So when you go red, yellow, blue, those are going to be called primary colors, which you probably learned in kindergarten. Those are the first ones you learn. You can't make any other colors unless you have red, yellow, and blue. You can't do it. Then my secondary colors, the ones in between, are going to be purple, orange, green. Okay, those you can make with red, with mixing. So on the color wheel, all you have to do to figure out what makes orange is look next to it. So if I mix red and yellow together, guess what? Orange. If I mix red and blue together, guess what? Purple. And then lastly, if you mix blue and yellow together, you're going to get, of course, the last one, which is green. Okay, the other thing that you guys probably already know, because you guys are such smart artists, is if you take these 3 colors, I'm going to make a little thing here. These 3 on this side, which look like fire, are called warm colors. So here are your warm colors on this side of the color wheel. And then the opposite is true over here. If I took these 3 colors, these are going to be my cool colors. Okay, and these ones I think of grass and ice and snow, nighttime, things that are cold. Okay, so we learned a bunch of different things just now. We talked about the entire color wheel. We talked about complementary colors, which are opposite from each other. So I'll draw a little arrow that will signify complementary colors on the color wheel. That's your complement. Let's write that on there. Complement. Okay, those are complements on all of those. We talked about primary color, which are what again? I hear you. You're saying red, yellow, blue. I can hear you. And then lastly, the secondary colors, which are what again? What are those? Oh yes, I hear you again. You said purple, orange, and green. Those are secondary. And then the very last thing I told you, these are warm and these are cool. Lots of stuff that you guys probably already know. So what you guys can do today, which I think is going to be super cool, and I can't wait to show you what I came up with, but I also can't wait to see what you guys do, is besides just drawing a color wheel, you could use paints, you could use crayons, if you have any other art supplies at home like oil pastels, whatever you want. A couple years ago, I think maybe last year, I had the kids draw objects in here instead of just doing chunks of pie. So like I think one of my students drew different flowers that were red and then different flowers that were orange. So she made hers all flowers. I had somebody else do a clock. So they made a color wheel, but they turned it into a clock, and that looked really cool. So you guys can come up with interesting ideas like that. But the other part of this is that you guys, I want you to kind of go on a color scavenger hunt at home, and I would think it would be really fun for you guys to make a color wheel out of objects around your house. So I'm going to show you what I came up with, and then I'm going to tell you guys to go ahead and try that on your own at home. So here is my color wheel of objects from around my house. So I'm zooming in here so you can see all the different things that I found, and then I will zoom out so you guys can see it all fully completed. It's probably easiest if you do it on the floor because it might take up some space. The more objects you have in your color wheel, the better it's going to look. So let's get in really close here and talk one more time about at the top. We've got red, so I found a bunch of objects here with red. Then we're going to go around here to orange, some different shades of orange, different tints and shades. Then we have our yellow section over there. And then we're going to move down to green, different items that I found that have green. And then purple and blue. So this is my home collection of objects to make a color wheel. So why don't you guys see if you can put together a really interesting color wheel and send it to me on the Google Classroom. So thanks for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you guys back in the classroom. But until then, have fun doing art at home. Bye guys.